Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman and today we are doing a flapper look based on the 2013 movie The Great Gatsby with Maurizio Silvi as the head makeup designer. We are doing one of the extras flapper dancer makeup looks that he created for the movie, and if you want to see how to get this look, keep watching. I've already washed my face and done my skincare, so let's start neutralizing the face. We are going to start with the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and this is definitely an all-out look. We are doing lips, we are doing eyes, we are doing everything. This is possibly one of my favorite, if not the favorite look ever. It's just so fun and so glamorous and over the top. It's just, I love doing flapper looks. Okay, now we are going to neutralize underneath the eyes with Bobbi Brown's Corrector in light to medium Bisque. Make sure if you are looking for your own corrector from Bobbi Brown that you go into a store, otherwise you're going to end up ordering so many, because there are significant differences between all of the shades. Some of them can get quite orange, which is going to be really nice for like a medium dark skin tone. That is like someone who has purple and blue under their eyes. It's going to be really great for that. Whereas someone like me who's a little bit paler or a lot paler, something like light to medium Bisque is a really great place to start. I feel like a lot of people work well with Bisque. Bisque is a great place to start, but still it's better if you can get yourself into a store and try on a few shades. So now, because we are doing very dramatic eyes and we're also doing dramatic lips and all of that, we do need to do a little bit of the complexion just to make sure that we know where we're going, what we're doing, all of that good stuff. And I'm actually going to start out with my duo fiber, just lightly blending that out. I recently watched a Lisa Eldridge tutorial, and she said that she likes to put the concealer on first, or like pretty close to the beginning of the tutorial, just so that she can get like any creasing out of the way, and she figures out if the person is kind of like sinking, if the makeup is sinking into the skin in an unwanted way. And I feel like, especially with a flapper look, doing your concealer first is a good idea, because things look a lot different once you get darker shades on the eyes. We're also going to go in with some foundation too. I'm going to do one pump of the Seamless Skin, and we're just really quickly going to put that on, and then we can always go back in with more. So concentrating through the center of my face where I have the most discoloration, balancing the brush where I need to, and blending out the edges where I need to. Bringing that down onto the chin, and then of course my nose, which is probably the most discolored area on my face. So one pump of the Seamless Skin gets you a pretty good coverage. It's definitely a medium coverage, but you can build it up if you want to. Usually I do about like 1.5 pumps just for longevity's sake, but it's, you know, with something like this, it's a good idea to build in light layers. So now we know that everything is nice and even, and we don't have to worry about anything. So at this point, I like to bounce back and forth between the eyes and the lips, because both are kind of spotlighted on the face. I think you need to make sure that you're going between both of them to make sure you don't go overboard on one without the other, etc., etc. So I'm quickly going to comb my brows down and fill in any gaps. Now, in the 2013 film, it didn't feel like Maurizio Silvi, who was the head makeup artist for the film, went super 1920s historical. He definitely went modern glam with a lot of the looks, and Prada did the outfits. I mean, it was just a beautiful movie. If you haven't seen it, it is aesthetically just so gorgeous. Everybody from the extras to Daisy to Gatsby himself, everybody just looks so good. But I'm not going to do Daisy's look. I'm going to do like one of the extras look who really had that flapper look on at the parties. So that's what we are doing today. But I would definitely recommend giving it a shot. It feels like everybody had to read this in high school, and it just probably wasn't fully appreciated. I would recommend reading it again. I reread it a few years ago and was blown away by how incredible a book it was. So just kind of combing through that product and making sure it's not too blocky, too modern. Might even feather it out just a little bit. So now I'm going to jump to the lips, and I'm going to use Lisa Eldridge's Pencil in Duchess, which is kind of a pinky red, but I think it's going to work really well with Night Crimson from Charlotte Tilbury. And then I also brought down Cinnabar from Lisa Eldridge just to really amp up that Bordeaux lip, which of course is back again because what a beautiful color on so many skin tones. So first I'm going to start at the Cupid's bow, and I'm going to go a little bit softer. I'm not going to go quite so angular. So just doing an M, and then I'm going to come right down the center, oop, right there, and I'm going to line inside. I'm not going to go all the way to my full lip line. That would be too much for the 20s. They liked a smaller mouth, more of a like Cupid's mouth. So we're going to go for a little bit more of that. And then I'm just going to fill in really quickly with my pencil. Taking my finger and softening those edges. Because remember, our modern aesthetic is like very sharp. It's kind of loosening up now with Return to the 90s, but for a while it was very sharp, very crisp, very clean. But in the 20s, it wasn't really that crisp. It was a little bit more soft focus, like life was just through a soft focus filter kind of a thing. And then fill in. Finger smudging. I'm happy with where that is heading, and I'm just going to throw on the rest of the lip, or at least Night Crimson. Again, focusing more on the center of the lip. I don't know if you guys know this, but lipstick shape is supposed to help you create a really beautiful mouth shape with the product. So it's kind of like a brush. You can use all the angles just like you can a brush and get different looks. The very tip, you can really get into your Cupid's bow. You can almost use it as a liner as well, especially with a lot of these modern lipsticks. So we're just going to let that sit for a moment, and then we're going to jump to the eyes. I'm going to jump right in with the 201, and I'm going to start with my bronzer. I just feel like my bronzer is a good place to go, especially when we're playing with shadows like Scene, which was actually used on the movie. So again, we have another MAC cosmetic, huge movie. They are definitely in the movies. So from the photos and from the quick videos that I have reminded myself of, I'm seeing lots of like cut creases, which is where you do light on the lid or sparkle and then dark in the crease. So that is what we are going for. So I'm not really going to bring anything onto my lid because I want to keep that light and bright for my shimmer. But I do want to have something foreseen to hold on to. So a cut crease is a really great way to open up your eyes and make your eyes look bigger and brighter. And it doesn't cut it down like how we normally do our eyeshadow, where we bring it onto the lid and then into the socket in the crease. Just by doing a really light shade on the lid and then something darker in the crease really makes your eyes humongous. So let's keep going. I'm going to take my 217 into Scene. We're just going to jump right in. I'm going to knock off any excess and just really lightly, I'm going to start putting that into the socket and just a little bit above. Softening those edges. They definitely, in the movie, brought up the eyeshadow quite high to the brows. So we are going, I mean, we're just going with the movie aesthetic. We're not really going historical. Not only is this a great Halloween look for any of my flappers out there, it's also a great one for obviously theme parties, but don't forget New Year's Eve. What a great place to go. Because it's all about the glitz and the glam and the smoke. And just softening those edges. I'm going to wipe down my brush, and with nothing extra on it, I'm just trying to soften those edges a little bit. So you can see how much bigger my eyes are looking right now. So now I'm going to go in with 203, and I'm going to go in with a metallic shade that's in my neutral palette. And we are going to start getting that lid on. I read in my notes about the movie makeup that Maurizio used a pigment, and we are going to be using something kind of similar from Bobbi Brown. It's called Moonstone. It is gorgeous. You can wear it all by itself, and you can also wear it wet. I think now I'm going to go back in with a 217. I'm actually going to grab a clean one, and I'm going to go in with a really dark brown, and I'm also going to mix it in with a little bit of a shimmer brown, just so that we don't get too gray. Scene is pretty gray on me, and I think if my hair was darker, it would make more sense. But with my lighter hair, I feel like I need a little bit more brown. And we will be adding, again, that Moonstone, which I think is going to be good for me. But if you have darker hair, you might not need to add in, or a different skin tone, you might not need to add in that little bit of gold. All right, with my finger, with my ring finger, I'm just going to pick that up. And I'm going to start on the ball of my eye. And this just adds another dimension to the look. Cameras love things like this. It just makes it easier to find your eye. And again, it just adds a little bit extra something for dimensionality. I'm going to go in with my Satin Kajal. Do a quick tight line. And then I'm also going to work that into the lashes. Just giving a really thin line, and then I'm going to take my pencil brush and just try to soften that so it almost becomes a little bit more kohl-like. You could also do this with an eyeshadow for a slightly softer look. But see, just by adding a little bit of black, everything is starting to make a little bit more sense. Everything is feeling really good. I'm going in with another clean brush, and I'm feeling like I just need to soften this up a little bit. I'm going to go back in with my darker shades, my darker browns. I don't want to bring Scene under my eye, just for me, because I already have a little bit of discoloration. And just right up against that lash line. Barely touching the skin. Going in with one of my 217s. Softening that. There's nothing on my brush. If I wanted to, I could add a little bit of bronzer. But I think I'm going to wait to do that until after I powder. So I'm going to grab another Kajal liner in Smoky Quartz and put that in my lower waterline. You could do black, but again, just like for my skin tone and my coloring, I think the Smoky Quartz works a little bit better. Let's amp up these lashes with 3D Maximizer by DIOR, getting right into the roots. And then we're going to finish complexion and just add a little bit of gloss. Smokey Eye Mascara from Bobbi Brown. Getting right into the roots. Almost using your mascara wand as like an eyelash curler. Now it's time to just kind of clean up a little bit. Another clean brush. I'm going to try and grab anything that has fallen that should not be somewhere else. I'm going to go back in with my concealer because I can definitely tell that I need a little bit more brightness, and because this is for film technically, we are going to do just a little bit of a highlight. So back in with my duo fiber, just letting my brush fall off the tip of my nose, but you can just see that all of a sudden my nose seems slimmer. And just a little bit on the chin. If you don't have a defined jawline, forget about this, because remember, anywhere you put a lighter anything, it pops forward. So if you don't like your chin, don't do that. And just lots and lots of patting motions. I don't feel like I need any more foundation, so I'm not going to do that. Quickly powdering with the 110 ambient lighting, and then I'll go back in and add just a touch of bronzer. Underneath. This ambient lighting is almost like a translucent powder, especially if you get the correct shade for your skin tone. I'm using diffused lights. They would have been pretty matte back in the 20s, but again, we're going more for the aesthetic of the movie. I'm going to add a little bit of Sweet Enough blush. Because we don't want this to become a goth look, which can also be very similar to a flapper look. But we're going to keep the skin very clean. Once again, I'm wiping off one of my 217s, going back in with my bronzer, and I'm just going to soften underneath the eyes. with a little bit of that bronzer. And you can decide how much you want to smoke this out, depending on your face shape and what your eyes do. So that is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching this 1920s flapper inspired look by the 2013 movie Great Gatsby. I love the aesthetics of that movie, and I hope you do too. I do fashion videos every Wednesday, beauty videos every Friday. I hope you have a wonderful and safe Halloween, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye.